Welcome to Haunt Tech Tips, the source for technical advice to take your haunted attraction to the next level. Here's your host, Chris Gay.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host, Chris of Haunt Tech Tips. This is our first episode. I'd like to welcome everyone aboard. We have a lot we want to cover here with this. Everything from prop controllers to audio, video, projectors, basic animatronics, and maybe some more advanced things down the road. I've been a haunter myself since about 1998. At the time I was a child at my parents' house, and I had a lot of stuff from Walmart, be it fog machines, cassette tapes, spooky sounds, and had a blast with it. From there, I didn't do a lot of haunting until I moved on to college, at which point I actually went in head first and ran a small haunt in a basement called The Haunting of Dorothy Webster. A couple years after that, I took over designing and building Haunted Herman, a theater company-based haunt at the same college. That was quite a show. Little backstory on that, I didn't exactly go from home haunt, well, not even a home haunt, trick-or-treat decorations to a haunt that quickly. In middle school, I joined the school AV club, worked on video production, and the daily school news broadcast. Did that for a couple years. In high school, as a lighting and sound techie for the theater program. Really almost a part-time job. I was running lighting design, live cueing, running a soundboard for every single play, assembly, band, choir, every event the school had. It was really a part-time job to the point that I'd hang out in the teacher's lounge because the school almost thought I worked there. But when I graduated, they hired someone. So you're welcome, I guess. We'll see. Anyway, I dabbled a little bit doing that in scenic construction design as well, and we had a couple mentors from the local performing arts college, so learned a ton from them. Can't say enough thanks to them. I lost touch, but if you're out there, thank you. After several years of working in high school theater, I actually got a college scholarship for lighting design. Went to college and joined the theater program, was all excited, and then I was told to get to pull nails. Then, you're going to paint the stage. Oh, hey, you're going to scrap some wood from last year and clean up the prop room. Nothing techie-based at all. None of the things I've been doing for years already. That was a little disappointing, to say the least. Turns out the grad students and maybe a senior or junior here and there were the ones that got to do all the techie stuff. The rest, freshmen, juniors, sophomores, so on and so forth, we just did grunt work. So kind of backed out of theater, focused on my studies until all of a sudden, hey, guess what? We need someone to work on our haunted house. And, well, the rest is history. That's when I found haunting, and things really took off from there. It's ironic, when I was young, I was an absolute scaredy cat and terrified of haunted houses. Went to a couple with my parents, and they terrified me. But I absolutely loved what was in it, and I can still recall the highlights of those shows to this day. So when I hear that the school needed a haunted house put together, I was all over it. They were, I'll fully admit, nothing near fire code, not the best attended, and pretty low tech. But they looked good, people had fun, and the scares were effective. I have some video I've got to dig up from the haunting at Herman. It was pretty fun. We actually scared some drunk kids right into a wall. They just tried to run into a cement block wall. I can't explain it to this day. I guess it was the alcohol, but nonetheless, I knew it was on to something. We had a lot of fun with that. So, moved on, because college is only 4 years. Started acting in a local family-run commercial haunt known as Screaming's Run. Cute little attraction back in the woods at a huge curated garden facility. Started a charitable group doing cosplay called the New Jersey Ghostbusters, about a dozen Ghostbusters, modern ectomobile, containment unit, movie props, so on and so forth, mostly hand-built, some purchased. Also a spin-off as a zombie outbreak response team. Worked as a Q-line actor and guest actor at a crazy number of haunts in southeastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Things like the Bates Motel, Valley of Fear, Frightland, Jason's Woods, Hotel of Horror, Scare House, 100 Acres Manor, Bennett's Curse, Shocktoberfest, and other events, Zombie Mud Run, the Philly Zombie Crawl, Asbury Park Zombie Crawl, Smithville Zombie Walk, so on and so forth. We had a ton of fun doing that, but also learned all about the inside operations and how professional shows work behind the scenes. Made a lot of great connections, too, with some of the owners, operators, and started attending haunt conventions as well. National Halloween Haunters Convention, which is returning to Atlantic City this spring. Rather excited to see that come back around. During all that fun, I also was working at a low voltage electronics company doing everything from security cameras, AV equipment, and networking, Wi-Fi, you name it, we did it. And sometimes we had fun at things like haunted mini golf courses, amusement parks. It was mostly residential and business, but nonetheless I got my feet wet with electronics there, especially high-end commercial electronics. As of last year, I can proudly say I have my own business, Tech Medic New Jersey. So I do mostly residential, but some small business, audio, visual, anything techie really. And even more proudly last year, I'm directing a small haunt for my local fire company, which I'm a member of. Our very first year, we had 1,260 some people through in 6 nights, and huge rave reviews. It's obviously a techie run show. We had projector effects, LED lighting, decent quality audio, and things you would not expect to see at a small haunt in the woods by a charity. So, needless to say, people around here were impressed. They're used to going to Philadelphia or New York to see things like that, not in their own backyard. So, 2018, watch out, you got a lot coming. That's how I started haunting. Be curious to hear how you started, or what you're trying to do to get started. That's a young introduction I had, and it wasn't even to haunting directly. Theater has a lot of crossover. Haunting is theater, or at least it can be. Techie work, be it running wiring and lighting in a haunt, or doing it professionally, a lot of crossover. So really I was an apprentice of haunting without haunting for the longest time, and then, well, things have worked out. So we want to be covering a lot here. Let me know what you need help with. And we're going to be starting off with projectors, TVs, audio video effects, audio be it small or large, and much, much more. Stay tuned. You can see show notes on haunttechtips.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the standards. I'm going to try to keep these episodes short because I know as haunters, your time is valuable. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to see our contest on Facebook where we'll be giving away a iTunes gift card once we hit 100 fans. See you next week.
Thanks for listening. Go to haunttechtips.com for show notes and more.